Good morning. Excited to be with you this beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning. My name is Tomisin. For those who are watching the show for the first time, I got a message right this morning from one of my fans on the Bumper Breakfast, and he said to me, I really want to see you face to face because I want to know, do you speak as fast physically as you do on TV? Do I speak fast? That's a question I'd like people to just answer. And of course, another beautiful, beautiful thing happened this morning. I'll share that with you during the course of the show. As Teresa Adeyemi will be joining us sometime during the show. And of course, our guest is already on set, so we'll be introducing him as well. I'd like to take a look at some stories from the Nigerian dailies this morning. Hope you all woke up on the right side of your mind, first of all. Hope you all are excited to be here this morning, and hope you all have expectations as to what the day is going to be like. All right, this morning, I'm taking a look at the newspapers. Front page, national security threatened as the 8.4 billion naira scanner project stalls. Custom resorts to 100% physical examination. Ease of doing business suffers total collapse. Stakeholders lament influence of illicit arms and drugs. Confusion over Mamandara's health trip. A village head non-January and 9 others killed in fresh Kaduna attacks. And my appointment as Unilag acting vice chancellor in order, says Shoyombo. Students march for reopening of tertiary institutions and vow to ground economy. The Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and the National Security Advisor, Brigadier General Babagana Mungono, retired during the virtual meeting of the Federal Executive Council at the State House of Abuja just yesterday. That's the picture story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. ECOWAS imposes economic diplomatic sanctions on Mali as the junta unveils ruling council decisions as international community deplores the coup. All right, we'll be taking a look at in-depth analysis of some of the stories in the papers this morning after this quick commercial break. Look at that. Welcome back. It's still the Bumper Breakfast, and of course, I'm still taking a look at the papers this morning. Our dear Ulibo, Teresa Adeyemi, is here with me this morning, and of course, I'm wondering why she's squinting her nose and looking all funny.
Good morning.
Teresa, how are you? Good morning.
I'm fine. Good morning.
And of course, the cat has been let out of the bag. We have a guest in the studio, and first time ever that I'm seeing him in a jacket. Not the Nigerian dress, you know. He usually wears the cap and the proper Nigerian attire.
Cool,
he looks cool, I must say.
So cool.
Thank you, Terence. Thank you, Tomisin.
He looks granddaddish.
We
right?
just
and I think you had a new haircut.
Oh,
yeah.
well.
Yes.
New hairstyle.
New hairstyle.
New, and we're crossing the 50,000 mark on COVID. So maybe this is my way of saying COVID is real.
It's real.
And let's move with the change.
Life goes on.
I greet everybody. It's nice to be here.
Mr. Akifatuke is here with us this morning again, as usual. And of course, this morning, we're taking a look at the Nigerian Tribune, or the Nation newspaper first of all.
All right, the national newspaper this morning, we have Edo Undo 2020, APC petitions, IGP, CP as policemen besiege community. PDP, we prioritize power sector, says Obaseki. 372,888 PVCs not collected in Undo, says REC. ZLP, ADP members defect to APC. It's getting more interesting. And UN, AU, US, ECOWAS, others reject Mali coup. President detained after resignation. Soldiers must restore order. West African leaders meet today. FEC OK's 5.49 billion naira for Secretariat. New date for Eagle matches. Biden gets nod to face Trump. And we have here a picture of Keita announcing his resignation yesterday. And the Nigerian government unequivocally condemns the coup d'etat that took place in Mali. The coup d'etat that took place in Mali will welcome the urgent activation of the ECOWAS standby force. Killings persist in southern Kaduna. ACF, Pope envoy urge end to insecurity. And from Abdul Ghaffar Alabelewe Kaduna, and to be okay, then COVID-19 spike, varsity short 1 week after reopening. Student protest continues schools closure. And we have Osho Kano declared holiday for Hijra. Senate threatens zero budget for CBN orders. And here again we still have EFCC gets petition on Akpabio Hyundai. 81.5 billion naira NDDC fraud alleged. Protests over escape of Oyo killer suspect. IG deploys detectives. It's Bayern versus PSG in UCL final. Happy clash on Sunday. That's for all football lovers.
I'm sure the football lovers are already gearing up for much more on the news. But of course, Stanley Kawu would be there on the sports segment later in the day to give us some reports as to what will happen. But of course, the Punch newspaper usually carries a different headline. Ethiopian Airlines defy federal government, resumes flights to London Friday. First flight departs Lagos 11:40 a.m. Friday from 619,561 naira. Second flight 4:30 p.m. That will be from 390,000
From Lagos to where?
269
To UK?
to London.
Okay.
And I'm asking the question,
So
how?
is it the normal price or is now?
I'm asking, the federal government is opening international flights from 29th of August, and then Ethiopian Airlines apparently is defying the federal government to start on the 21st of August. All right, let me assume, because 21st of August and 29th of August are 2 Fridays.
Yes.
They're 2 Fridays. So maybe Ethiopian Airlines means the other Friday and not this Friday. But of course, I'm sure Mr. Akifatuke can react to that later. No commercial flight has been cleared to lift passengers from Nigeria, the federal government declares.
Okay. So 21 is not a date.
29th is the date.
Is the date.
29th is the date. And
Okay.
both are Fridays. You know the coincidence? Both are Fridays.
Fridays.
So you really cannot say.
Cannot say.
That's what I mean. But of course, I'm sure Mr. Akifatuke, you're poised to reacting to that now or much later?
Oh, okay. I could just tell you that a lot of the things that happens here in Nigeria is in the reverse. And so I am not sure. I flow with your coincidence, 21st, 29th.
29.
Both Fridays.
But I can tell you,
It's 29.
flights have been going.
Yeah, chartered flights.
Chartered flights.
Yes, chartered flights.
Seat Tessie. Truth of the matter is, dig deep. Quite a number of seemingly commercial flights have been taken off and coming back. Some hidden under evacuation. A lot of them, like I said in my opener, we do not have the capacity to enforce, and we are so indisciplined. So the elites have found their way
To rigmarole around
making
the rules.
sure, and then they can always cover it with some nebulous approval. That is the truth. It's like telling me that you are not aware that some of our friends, I call them our friends, security operatives, do not take the little things that, and then you can sociologically begin to rationalize that they've not been paid their salaries, which might be true. They don't have pensions, which might be true. And is that enough reason?
That's not enough reason. Never will be.
I can say categorically from putting my ears to the ground that the Ethiopian airline is fully booked. As at the time we were reading that report, just remaining one seat, and I can tell you it's going to be oversubscribed. And I can almost tell you, with pain in my heart too, as a Nigerian, that flight is going to take off on the 21st.
But one thing I know is, even if flights have been if they've been operating on the ground and we don't know, they are going to a country, and the country have their own rules.
But
They have their rules. So even if you sneak out of Nigeria, you can't sneak inside.
No, but London has not banned flights from coming in from Nigeria because, because British Airways was in Nigeria a couple of days ago, bringing in some people, and obviously there was a departure on Monday in Nigeria.
So that is one.
So that's a chartered flight.
And Tessie, please don't also forget there is a diplomatic movement. So if Nigeria, if I'm Nigeria and you are Ukraine, let's say, and you have not opened up, but I have opened up, diplomatically I could say under a certain arrangement, please, this particular flight is an SOS and stuff like that.
That's why she said something like chartered.
Exactly.
You understand? Chartered plane have been walking.
So despite the fact that
but
you
just
are
like
not
an ordinary citizen going to the airport and say you want to board a flight is not possible. One thing
that's why he was mentioning that some people have done.
He's been abused. That's the point I'm making. And diplomatically, we abuse everything, right from securing ourselves on the road to our legal and judicial, to our politics. Maybe you might get to it. It is also alleged that a highly placed individual, very close to Mr. President, Maman Daura, it's on its way to the UK. So, again, the more you look, the less you see.
And it's being said that we are going to be opening the international flights. But for me, I sincerely just hope that when the federal government grounds that flight tomorrow, because that's the expectation, when they ground the flight, what do you think? Do you think it's going to affect the relationship? Because this is a country-owned airline.
Tomisin, I wish I could share that optimism that you have. And the reason why I will not share that optimism, I told you vaguely. We need to be careful on national television that I am aware that similar flights have left our airports and nothing was done. Naira Marley
was going to Abuja.
At one point in time, under our noses, left from Lagos to Abuja.
On a chartered flight.
Not only did he live on, not only he got there against all protocols. If that can happen under our noses, we'll wait and see. When we get to the,
he was caught. Naira Marley was caught.
Yeah.
And even the flight operator said, they were told that it was.
They were confused by.
They were confused.
What an excuse.
What an excuse, though. But at least he was fined. He was caught and he was fined.
And I think even the airline has been fined.
The airline too was also fined.
If that
left on a chartered plane.
If that airline was going to be laden with bombs and has bombed like the Hiroshima in a particular part of the country, are we not going to be doing catch-ups? That excuse does not hold water for me. I'm sorry. Rules are rules, and if you now begin to treat some people just because of the big C, I always talk about the big C. You know what the big C is? Corruption and a tendency not to be able to obey rules. I know so many things were said. Well, I thought it was Fashola. It was supposed to be a judge that was supposed to be flown from Lagos to Abuja. You you will get 1,001 reasons,
Excuses.
as you are going to get 1,001 reason excuses for this particular one. We'll wait and see.
Really, I hope that while we're waiting to see that the authorities will definitely make an example of this one. Killings, we have 1,300 petitioners seek El Rufai's exclusion from NDA confab. Iran supervisors arrested for leaking. We'll ask questions. Now. So Kapu lampoons ACF as chair, says NAF faces hardest times. ECOWAS suspends Mali, blocks borders, soldier declares self-president. MTEF Senate threatens to sanction CBN, NPA, FIS, others. And you have Shoyombo begs Unilag unions for support in the maiden meeting. Islamic year, Oshun Kano declared today public holiday. Village head, 10 others killed in southern Kaduna, Supakapu alleges 8 of our staff tested positive for COVID-19. OOUTH, that's the Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital. Talking there, Fire Soon's viral presidential campaign poster by the local government bus. Ogo prophet arraigned for defiling a 15-year-old girl during spiritual cleansing. And serial killer protesters storm command headquarters. RGE deploys detectives.
IG deploys detective to where?
No, the serial killer in your state.
Okay.
Protesters are storming the command headquarters, and the IGP is deploying detectives to the area, obviously to see into the matter. We discussed that on the bumper breakfast yesterday on the show. MPDC planning 500,000 barrels per day production. That's coming from Kiari, Milikiari. That's from the NNPC. All right, we'll take the Nigerian Tribune.
Nigerian Tribune, we have foreign reserves, reps to quiz SGF, CBN Governor, Finance Minister to probe 2.736 trillion naira FAT allocation in 2014. If we do not save the North, we will lose the region. That is coming from ACF. And ASU adamant as acting Unilag, VC assumes duty. Ondo LG election, police to deploy 5,000 personnel. FEC OK's 5.485 billion naira for 5 secretariat building. And federal government must prevent violence, uphold human rights in Edo, Amnesty International. All political parties must be involved in talks on security. That is coming from PDP. And the picture here on the Nigerian Tribune, we have National Association of, the picture story here, we have National Association of University Students during a protest demanding the reopening of universities in Abuja on Wednesday. And 11 LGAs in Oyo at risk of flooding from September. First modular refinery with 12,000 barrels crude oil at 75% completion. Federal government. Air Force kills 20 terrorists, destroys logistic in Borno, and IGP deployed detectives in Oyo, orders rearrest of suspected Ibadan serial killer. Youth attack police headquarters in Ibadan. ECOWAS suspend Mali, direct members to close borders.
All right, those are the stories on the front page of the papers this morning. Interesting ones they are, but we will be talking, first of all, about another story altogether. That's it on the headlines. Moving to our first topic for this morning, and it's all about the reopening of our tertiary institutions after this break.
This month, we're bringing you a host of brand new faces to fall in love with. Meet Fesh, a young inspiring musician tasked with ridding his community of crime and corruption.
I'll play along. How do we tackle corruption?
Introducing Allegra, a strong-minded investigator on a mission to find her sister's murderer.
Look, there's some thought into this. You sticking around?
Till I find out what happened to Felicity.
Presenting Arabella, a young celebrity in London trying to piece her life back together following a harrowing assault.
I just covered the pieces.
Make way for Ibrahim, a love Dr. Deluxe, whose specialty is reigniting the spark in ailing relationships.
Now I have a clearer picture. What is it that we can do? Why are you here? How can we help?
And all hail Sadie, a wacky wizard in training trying to balance her magical powers and life in high school. Brand new, just for you on DSTV.
Yes, we're back again, and it's still the bumper breakfast. Mr. Akinfatuke is still here with us. And first topic for this morning, the reopening of our tertiary institutions. Are we ready yet? That's the question today. Mr. Akinfatuke, students embarked on a strike, or on a protest yesterday, pardon me. They embarked on a protest yesterday, and involving students of the National University
Association of University, National Association of Universities.
I know they have a name for it, and I had to put a script together for it yesterday. NAUS, National Association of University Students, National Association of Polytechnic Students. We have the National Association of Nigerian Colleges of Education, NANCES. All of them came together to embark on a protest demanding for the reopening of higher institutions. Well, my question is, are we ready? Clearly,
let me say up front, whatever associations or unions decide to go on protest is their right to do. So please, putting that cat behind the horse tells us that yes, they have a right to protest as long as they do it civilly.
Obeying all the precautionary measures.
And of course, leading it by example, by ensuring the protocols, which will take us back into the heart of the matter. I also learned that they had threatened to make things ungovernable.
And they say they would grant the economy and making all sorts of threats.
I am going to ask that my Amazons and my heroes of that struggle, please do a rethink and ensure that please, we do not want to be emotive when it comes to this kind of struggle. I have always clamored for intelligence-based protesting. So I haven't put all those before. I like to intellectually challenge my younger folks in the universities. And ask this rhetorical question. I don't expect them to give me an answer. Are we just waking up to see quite a lot of rot that we have in the system, even in the processes? Are you sure that we do not have fifth columnists come into it? I'm just asking all these questions. And in any case, you've been in for months, even before COVID, on account of university lecturers disagreeing with the federal government on the payment system, which have been claimed and disclaimers as regards we just want things, we don't want ghost workers and what have you. Where were you? And what did you do there? Did you take a position? I said they are rhetorical questions. Now, I also understood that a university was shut shortly after reopening. All what this calls for and what I expect in terms of process is that when universities are to reopen, and I think there is a compelling reason why they and other schools should reopen. After all, if, like they say, markets and churches have been given special consideration, I do not see any reason why, in my own humble opinion, that what should come first is education. I don't see any reason why we should not open our tertiary institutions. Albeit, are we disciplined enough?
Are the students disciplined enough?
Are the students disciplined enough? Are the authorities disciplined enough? Are we a process kind of people? I liked it when government says churches could could reopen. And I saw 1 or 2, 3 or 4 specks of pastors saying, hey, nay, I'm not going to
Yeah,
open.
I'm not going to open it, yes.
Basically, because I think I have an alternative in the meantime.
That is working for me.
It's working for me, and I don't want to subject my people into a kind of hardship. Now, what are these protocols? Tomisin, if we open a tertiary institution in Lagos, you have to open similar tertiary institution at Umukede.
Yes.
You have to open similar in Maiduguri.
Yes.
You have to open similar one in Otueke.
Yes.
Are they all poised to do what is right?
Which is my question, really, because
The answer to that, just like we talked about earlier on flights, is that we are not compliant and disciplined set
As
of
a
people to do what is right. However, you will be shocked and surprised. Both students and administrators, if it was the US and if it was UK, they will go with all those strict protocols. And I think the disjoint has just been the fact that I don't trust you, Tessie, and you don't trust me.
Well, you know, the issue
I don't trust you, Tomisin, and you don't trust me. So Tomisin is the governing authority, and you are NUC, and I'm a parent that wants my children to get basic education, even though if we rush them on out to go for this education and then they finish school, there is absolutely no job waiting for them. So in all of those value chains, we haven't taken care of what should be taken care of. So ASU, please do your protest, but I think your protest should be inward first. Ask the university authorities. If we are going to open today, please can you show us, can you demonstrate to us what are going to be the basic protocols that we are all going to face? Oh, you must have face masks. What if we don't have face masks? Is there anything that we need to do? How do we wash our hands? Can we begin to demonstrate all these things?
But you know,
and that's the way it should
the
be.
issue here, COVID-19 spike, varsity shot 1 week after reopening. These are students of the University of North Carolina, UNC, at Chapel Hill, United States.
All right. So
because
that's the United States.
I've deserted, that's the United States. They've deserted the Ivy League institution following a spike in coronavirus cases on campus.
Yes,
now let me shock you.
that's
Right
the latest
here in
one.
Nigeria, in Gombe State, we are talking about students being positive. Students who are writing WAHEC. Yes. At the government girls' secondary school, Doma, in Gombe State, 1 was discovered, and by yesterday the number had spiked to 7. So you have 8 people now, 8 girls in that school who have tested positive for coronavirus and they've been isolated. Interesting as well, Kwara State, another student, a 16-year-old who was positive, who is also positive in Kwara. The government made special arrangement for her to be able to write our exam, but by herself. So the fear of parents that there is a possibility that students could contact this virus.
Our youth, how careful are they?
Not even the ones in the university. They are the most
careless
ever.
How careful are they?
Let's talk about the Doma case. The Doma case came to fall because that is what has been declared. There are so many things that are not going to be declared. I know that as a rule.
So far, they've tested 1,100?
They've tested 1,100 over there.
One of the basic things is that the temperature tests could go well above normal. So many will go above normal. And I've seen situations, and it's not for me here to continue to attack government and policymakers. Parents! Oh, no, I insist.
My child must write the exam.
And then before you know what is happening, there will be a bit of a stampede. And when it gets to that kind of stampede, the hapless person that is trying to do the normal protocol is helpless. Everything now becomes convoluted. Haven't said that. Tomisin, I think there will always be problems.
Very true.
I think the issue is how do we systematically resolve those problems? And I'm happy about the Doma case. I am speaking here in this studio in Lagos State. I am very sure. I'm very sure there will be so many, just in schools that, wants to conduct WAEC, even in religious institutions. So, for me, please, let's be adults and let's face the facts. The federal government of Nigeria and the state government protocols have said you are responsible for yourself. So
I do tell them, take responsibility.
taking my hands off, we will continue to preach it, we'll continue to say it.
Yes.
If perchance your school, unfortunately, now become like we have in Doma in Gobe State, now get a lot of some of these prevalent things happening, of course your brand is naturally destroyed. Even though I know you can pay your way back into it if we are not strict. But the issue of the one in Kwara State is of interest to me. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, discover that she's COVID. She's, asthmatic, and she's not okay. Rather than let's give her
special arrangements was made by the government.
In the private sector, you do things in scenarios, and you look at worst case scenario. Supposing this happens, there should have been an isolation, arrangement, especially. And then when parents see that this is on, you'll be shocked and surprised that some well-to-do parents might be able to even say, we are able to pay a little more, not just for my daughter or my son, and a couple of friends. And then, you light your candle there, Tessie. Tomisin lights her candle there in that, and I light mine, and then we become a bit of an oasis of sanity to show the world how it should be done. So that's the way it is.
It's quite interesting for me that a lot of people will keep flogging this issue that schools should reopen and all that. But I feel that ultimately our young people need to be spoken to. Because
is it even the issue of school should be reopening or the students themselves? How ready are they?
Because I remember in the days
are they ready to take responsibility?
Where we didn't have water to bath. We didn't have water for about a week to take our bath at the hostels, and it was a big deal. It was a really big deal. And the students protested because there was no water to have your bath. Now we're talking about a situation where you have to use water to wash your hands. I picture my alma mater right now. I picture my department. It means every lecture room would have to have maybe 3-4 wash hand basins in front of it. It means, and my own department alone has about 25 lecture rooms. And they are usually always full.
That's what I was about saying there. That how many students do you have in the lecture room?
That's it. They're usually always
full. My own, we have over 200
in a class. And then while you're stepping out, another group is coming in, and you're supposed to disinfect before that takes place.
Improvisation now has to come into being, and this is not the time
online
now
lessons should work better.
That we now want to be, looking for a Mercedes when we cannot even afford the Volkswagen that is gone out of fashion. So 200. I'll propose to my students how to be a lecturer. We have a goal and a vision that we must educate one another. Can we arrange to do it in the open? Can we leave the classrooms and then we can give some little bit of spacing? And we can just
for schools that have the ground.
You are now going to say,
then they have to learn under the sun.
How are you? Yeah, there are trees. Some of those things that
because if I'm looking at my own school, I don't think we had trees then, but I don't know about now. But then in
because
those days,
you didn't have trees, you now have to suffer it. Schools and tertiary institutions should have greenery, and a lot of this big C, just like we have in politics and in the urban areas, have taken over. Areas where should be given, where should have a park, has been taken off by some other lecturers. But I'm saying, we could just arrange it and we could schedule it. I want you to do well. So 200, can we divide us into two? Very quickly, we start the lecture for the first 100. You are spaced, and then I can get a bit of a microphone. this is the time to improvise. And
yeah.
if we improvise, we can get there. And by extension, I'm also saying this to our religious institutions too. You know, the situations where we have to be within some four walls because we do certain things that perhaps we do not want the third eye to see. It's just not tenable. As we speak, the question as regards should or should we not is hanging in the balance. However, I am for the fact that if I am disciplined, and Tomisin, you are disciplined, and Tessie is not as disciplined, and we are able to preach to her to see good in her discipline and she joins us, we continue to light all these candles. And guess what? Professor Sam Aluko, of blessed memory, who became an international scholar economist. He was virtually a rolling tire in the dunghills of Ekiti before he was discovered because he couldn't pay his school fees. And the Western government, this guy will be smart. They gave him a little bit of an incentive. Yeah, come. He studied in the open. He studied under floodlit. So, I do not have any reason why we don't have such at this time, but we have one or two people in the environment you could approach. Please, that's your street light that you have in front of. We are going to be orderly. 2 or 3 or 4 of us can just come for about 30 minutes or 1 hour to come and study. And if we study and can study well, we'll be like Professor Sam Aluko. The reason why I'm giving this is the fact that it is when things are difficult that you get even the best in human aspirations, as long as all of us
agree together.
All of us agree together. And we are not like the pastor in Benin who allowed Efe to come and read, only for her to be raped and killed. See the point I'm making? So we all have to agree that we have
to do the right
and then
thing.
I don't see any reason why the local government, the state government, or the federal government look out for a girl or a boy under this kind of circumstance who can do well and give her great recognition to serve as deterrent to others. Look, if we put our thinking cap on, that's just the point I'm making. If we put our thinking cap on, we can surmount. We'll be able to surmount. Yes, we'll not be able to capture everybody in the net. I agree. But at least we'll catch substantial. I'll be able to show the world that Nigeria, like Italy of those of yore, during the time of Garibaldi, Nigeria Ferrada say, Nigeria can do it. Yes, we can do it, and we must be able to do it.
All right, let's take a quick break now. We have our next guest. We're quickly taking a quick entertainment break. I usually give you some music on the bumper breakfast if you've noticed in recent times. We take this one live and then we come back with our next guest. Of course, we're going to be talking business and then Mr. Fatima will join us again on the conversation. We're still here.
Ankara sórí ṣẹ́ẹ̀tì bóhùn mi mo dẹ̀ tún lè gbéraga ọlá olúwa ni mò ń jẹ ire olúwa ni mò ń wá bóhùn mi mo lè wọ Ankara sórí ṣẹ́ẹ̀tì èmi mo nira bóhùn mi mo dẹ̀ tún lè gbéraga. Ọlá olúwa ni mò ń lá o ire olúwa ni mò ń jẹ ọlá olúwa ni mò ń lá o ire olúwa ni mò ń. I cannot live a day without you. I'm so blessed and thankful to you. baby. You're the reason I'm so joyful. The devil can touch me now because of you. Not only you. Yeah. Them sit down for corner, they wait. Won't quit job, but we get praise. True good. Yeah. We know they fear them, we know they send Jehovah they here like regular. We know they shake. Yeah, yeah. Boom, mi mo le wankara sórí shirt. Boom, mi mo de tún lè gbéraga o. Hey, ọlá Olúwa ni mo ń jẹ. Ire Olúwa ni mo ń lá. Bóhùn mi mo lè wankara sórí ṣẹ́ẹ̀tì ni mo lè rà ní. Bóhùn mi mo dẹ̀ tún lè gbéraga. Ọlá Olúwa ni mo ń jẹ. Ire Olúwa ni mo ń jẹ. Ọlá Olúwa ni mo ń lá o. Ire Olúwa ni mo ń jẹ. Ọlá Olúwa ni Lucas ń lá o. Ire Olúwa ni mo ń jẹ. Ọlá Olúwa ni mo ń lá o. Ire Olúwa ni mo ń jẹ.
It's Sir Justin World Music.
It's Ocean be the sound doctor.
Jaja, it's Victor. What a ranking. Come fi tell them. What's that? For the Lord, I won't be the best. Anywhere them call people, may them call me first. Like the birds, they done in the nest. Father, hear my prayer request. Oh Lord, I won't be the best. Anywhere them call people, may them call me first. Like the birds, they done in the nest. Father, hear my prayer request. Prayer request. Say, I want to go back to mama if I don't make time for you. Say, I want to go back to her. I say, I don't make time for you. I say, me love you cause me get that.
Superstar Entertainment.
Jaja show me the light and he will never let me down. Put me top on the mountain, Baba, you bless my crown. Big things are one for me, big things are one for you. Big things are one for me, big things are one for you.
Big things are gone.
Big things are one for you. You not get money in your pocket.
Big things are gone.
Big things are one for you, but you got the rope up on your head.
Big things are gone.
Big things are one for you. If you see yourself, I'm under leaving.
Big things are gone.
Big things are one for you. If you call job on your case.
Big things are gone.
We are Jaja flex and yeah, joy on the river make you feel I'm too. Swimming in abundant grace, counting blessings, not the most I raise. Tell it to the people, say me don't try. Anytime I call, I mean they answer me. Oh, giving thanks and praises to the Most High. Gone inside the days where we they so tired. Jaja lo, Jaja lo, Jaja lo, I see Jaja lo, Jaja lo, Jaja lo, Jaja lo, I see Jaja lo. Jaja show me the light and he will never let me down. Put me top on the mountain, Baba, you bless my crown. Big things are one for me, big things are one for you. Big things are one for me, big things are one for you.
Big things are one.
Big things are one for you. You not get money in your pocket.
Big things are one.
Big things are going for you, but you got the rope up on your head.
Big things are gone.
Big things are going for you. If you see yourself